Hello and good morning, everyone. Only positivity here. I have some tea with me today, and again, I'm just sitting on my chair, so don't mind me farting around here. Um, Ready to kick off podcast number 110 on this playlist that I'm looking to launch called Elevated Thoughts. So before diving into the book and everything, before diving into the topic of the day, let's go and start with the level set. So as I endeavor upon pursuing knowledge and life experience in this next phase of life through fitness, photography, reading, cannabis, many more things, one habit that I've really formed is traveling. So this podcast essentially goes through some of my more recent travels, taking those lessons learned and applying them to experiences in my life. So, not really sure where to start here today, but honestly, just been having a really enjoyable summer thus far, knock on wood. Been golfing a lot, and that's such a funny little endeavor in and of itself. The other day I went out with my buddy, and I was playing like shit. And not that I'm really good ever, but just trying some of these things out. I'm like a YouTube learner, so I'm like trying some of these things out on Instagram that I find. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. So I was like really pissed off that Sunday didn't work out well for me. So I went to the range with wifey last night, and it's really cool that she's picking up on golf as well too. Honestly, she seems to be kind of catching the bug. Every week we go to the range, and she's getting better every week. So just happy to have another homie to kind of clown around with on the golf course at some point. So golf is really fun, man. It's always fun to have like a golf endeavor on the books. I'm going tomorrow, celebrate Juneteenth with the homies. We're just gonna go do a 9-hole course, and got an 18 on Sunday, and I'm going to the range on Friday. So, just fun to have golf outings on the books, man. It's just really cool. Other than that, just trekking along. These cicadas are, they seem to be dwindling, so can finally get back outside and go for some walks. We've been having to drive like 25 minutes away just to go for a walk, which is very cumbersome because of these cicadas around here are just so lit up, my dude. So we're just trying to get out, get our steps in. But all in all, man, got some fun stuff coming up too. Headed to Savannah, going on a golf trip with some of the homies. I did a e-session recently. Shot this couple, and it was beautiful. They loved the pictures, came out well. So just connecting, doing good things, trying to be outside during the summertime, and just keep that boyish charm about me, if you will. The existentialism of work and some of the obligatory things in life, they're still there. But we try to combat that with having fun things on the books all the time. So gotta do it. But other than that, more recently, wifey and I took a trip to San Diego, just ran that trip back. So, just to add some further context, so 5 years ago, around the March time, 2019, we had gone to San Diego for the first time, and it was phenomenal, right? Just sunny and beautiful. We hit like a hookah bar. We walked up and down 5th Street, just like perused through Gaslamp, went to SeaWorld. And it was phenomenal, and it was as she didn't know I was about to propose, but it was, a few months before I proposed. And so it was just like the cusp of this new chapter of our like wedding kind of chapter, and married life, engaged life, and things like that. And coming back 5 years later now, it's just such a euphoric experience because, we're married, we've lived in a couple different places, we've traveled a lot of different places, and we've just grown so much throughout time, throughout the past 5 years. So we were like, let's just go back to San Diego and see how it is. And, honestly, wifey had like a work trip in somewhere in some bumblefuck town, I think in Iowa, and was just trying to skirt that. And what better way to skirt it than just say, hey, we got some on the books, can't really make it. So it was fun all in all. Scares me. So we usually do like a Thursday to Sunday, but this time around we went Friday to Monday. So it was nice to get a full weekend, full week of good behavior, due diligence, clean eating, hitting the gym, and took Friday off of the gym. Took Saturday off of the gym because we had a late night on our 6 p.m. flight on Friday. So, it was nice, getting to O'Hare was really simple. No big deal there. Having pre-check is no qualms at all either. So we were at the gate pretty early, and we got delayed by an hour. So we were at the gate very early. But it was nice, man. We got to sit there and just kind of chat, catch up. It's always nice to people watch at the airport, smoke a few J's before we head out, and get the edibles going. And so you're in a reflective state of mind. And one interesting thing is, it's always interesting to see people who are who aren't frequent flyers, especially if they're on like a Spirit or a Frontier kind of airline, because the demographic is just so different a lot of times for those planes. So anyway, there's these. So we're waiting next to our gate, and there's a Spirit flight going to Orlando, right? And there's these two dudes, like total like DJ Khaled looking dudes, wearing wife beaters, and like just backwards baseball caps, and just like not ready for a flight, right? Like I would never wear a wife beater on a flight. Not that I would judge you for doing it. It's just it gets cold on the flight, and you're just kind of sitting there, and Spirit and Frontier will nickel and dime you for everything. So they're trying to bring like a carry-on and a personal item. And I'm sitting there like, you guys are going to get stopped. So then they do, right? And they're pissed. And they just have to pay $17. Really, like nothing. And they're pissed about that. And I'm sitting there like, bro. And they're just like shaking their head, yelling at the agents. And I'm just like, yo, bro, fucking calm down, dude. But eventually, I guess they make it on. And then we get on our plane, we go for a little walk in the airport because we're delayed. I'm like, let's just get our steps in. So I always find that I get into new corridors of O'Hare, pretty much every time I go there, because you don't always fly, you don't always fly like from the same terminal every time. So it's really interesting, all in all. But, so we went for a little walk, and I had brought my camera this time, so I had all those things on me. And we get over so we do a 4.5 hour flight, and I watched pretty much all of Baby Reindeer, which was a dope show. It took me a little while to get onto it, but it was directed really well, shot really well. It's kind of a surprise, honestly. I thought it was gonna go one way, and then it went a total other, right? So that was a fun time. And then edibles kicking in, I just shut my eyes, listen to some music for a little bit, and that was really fun too, honestly. So by the time we land, it's maybe like 9 o'clock there. So we there's not too much we could possibly do, and we're not trying to go out and like turn up like that. So Uber comes pretty quickly. We just hop into the Uber and get over to the U.S. Grant out in Gaslamp, which I would recommend. Was a pretty good hotel, pretty clean. Definitely an older property, but the hotel itself was totally fine. But then so we get there, and it's a very aesthetic hotel. Like the lobby is very grand, if you will, and the rooms themselves are pretty modern too. So we end up just kind of ordering some DoorDash, some Thai food, which was hit the spot, and we were watching this Hitler documentary, like that new one that's out, and very informative, and wifey's on it too, so we were just kind of watching that. And for some reason, fascism really puts me to sleep. Like every time I'm watching that episode, like we cannot make it like 15 minutes in without like being like, all right, like I'm getting sleepy, let's pause it. And I'm just sitting there like, all right, so we're on like episode 2. I've been watching it for 2 weeks in like 15-minute increments, which is kind of funny, but I'm sure we'll get through it at some point. But there's that. So then the next day, we get up, and it's like my off day, you know what I mean? So I'm not gonna like fret too hard about getting a workout in. The main thing I want to do is just get my steps in, right? So we get up in the morning, and we go to this spot called Mio Tuo. Just get a little protein sandwich, and just kind of take it easy. Nothing too major. Get my oat milk latte going. You know how we do. That was a nice little breakfast. We get to catch up, just start talking. So many cute dogs coming in and out. And a very hipster location. But I felt like the food was made well. And the weather's just perfect, right? It's not like overly sunny, but it's like 75 and beautiful out there. So ready to clown, and the sun comes up throughout the days. So then we so the first we end up just going over to Balboa Park, which is like there's a bunch of museums out there. So we were like, hey, let's go peruse and see what it's all about, right? So the first museum we hit is called let me see where it is at. The first museum that we hit is called the San Diego Museum of Art. So that is a good starter in Balboa Park, right? You go see a lot of Diego Rivera. You can go see a lot of, just like they have different like geographic regions, right? They have like an Asian one, and they have like a, what do you call, like a Hispanic one, and they have more modern exhibits. They have a women specific exhibit. So it's cool to just go and read about history. So me and wifey, we were able to take our camera in there too. So we're taking pictures. We're just having a good time with it, honestly. And like, I'm trying to catch her. I'm trying to work on my candid photography, so I can just catch her, with good angles. And as we come up, what do you call, to this wedding that we're shooting together, it's really nice to, just do this type of candid photography. So that way I'm not like, hey, just pose here, hey, pose here. Just trying to get her in action, and vice versa, So it was really fun. A lot of good places to frame up and things like that. Grand staircases, like just good framing. And we went for a walk in this little park afterwards, which was awesome. And then we also hit this dispensary. I forget the name of it, but it was funny because we went there and they were like, have you guys ever been here before? And I'm like, I think we have been here before, like 5 years ago. And so we entered our names, because that's generally what they do. They check your ID and they enter it. They're like, yeah, you actually have an account with us. I'm like, bro, 5 years ago, right? Like we came in here and signed up for something, and here we are 5 years again, right? So anyway, we get in there and we pick up some baby Jeters. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's mainly just what do you call, like a small joint with like keef covered, like outside, and it's infused with some sort of wax or moon rocks or something like that. So really good. And then we picked up these mini stizzies, which are like hemp wrapped blunts. Same thing, infused, really good. Strawberry cough is like the one I go for. So it was nice. It was fun. And then smoke a couple of those before you head into the museums, and then you just get that extra experience, my dude. You know what I'm saying? So we hit that, and then we came back, and what do you call? We took a nap, and that's generally what we do. We just like rock out naps, and then get up and do something in the evening. So we take a little nap, and then we get up and we go down Fifth Street, and we go to this restaurant called I think it was called Manga or something like that. Anyway. Not a good restaurant. It was definitely bougie. Like I felt like I was in like Selling Sunset, or one of those like reality TV shows where rich people go eat. Like there's like greenery all on the walls, there's those illuminated signs, like all the waitresses are wearing basically nothing. The tits are all out, you know what I mean? Their ass is all out. Nothing against that. But I think they knew right away that we weren't the type of clientele that goes there. Like everyone was like, even when we were walking up to the restaurant, this lady had this like resting bitch face, and she, as soon as we said we had a reservation, she changed up. But yeah, it was okay. I got some like ahi tuna and my wife got a burger that I feel like we could have gotten at like Mariano's, honestly. So nothing to run home about there, but if you're looking for a bougie experience, head on down. And then we slid over afterwards and went to this hookah bar, which was awesome, because we went there 5 years ago as well. And it was just, it's so nice. I don't really smoke hookah like that, but it was nice to sit there, watch the Celtics game, and just talk. We were just catching up, and on all the progress and that's happened over the past 5 years, and how we're back here. It's like very, very interesting, And so we knocked that night out, and just kind of chill there. And then we end up just knocking out, winding the night down after a few drinks, and then we get up the next day and go hit the gym. And the US Grant has a very nice gym, so it was nice. I just did a full body workout. I have like a hotel workout that I do, which is like 3 sets of pull-ups, 3 sets of push-ups, 3 sets of abs, 3 sets of legs, 3 sets of shoulders, 3 sets of biceps, 3 sets of triceps. So keep it all pretty light, but then I just hit my whole body, you know what I mean? And then walk on the treadmill and on that type of stuff. So it was nice, very nice. And then we went to this restaurant called, Breakfast Republic, which was very, very homey, just very home-like atmosphere, a lot of like art on the walls, a lot of like motivational quotes on the walls. I got like a skillet situation, like a Denver skillet, just like basically a meat lover skillet. And wifey got some protein pancakes, which were really good. And it was just a lot of fun, man. Just like catching up over coffee and breakfast is like one of my favorite things to do. And then so then after that, right, we go smoke a few doobs and head over to the Museum of Us. So essentially, it's a lot of different things, So there is a component that's about the Native Americans and some of the injustices done to the Mayans and the Aztecs. And they also had this like beer. I think they were the founders of beer, or maybe just in the Americas. They had this alcoholic beverage that they had developed, which I had never known. And then you go into the upper exhibits, and they talk about like slavery and racism and the evolution of that. And it's very informative. But another cool part of that was they had a kind of like a secrets component of it. So basically an area where this author would solicit like secrets from people to send him anonymously, and he would post them all over this exhibit, right? And there's so many interesting ones like I cheated on my sister's husband, and I slept together, but I still haven't told her. Like things like that, and there's more interesting ones, like, that are like, I avoid, hold on, what does this one say? It says, what is going on here? So this one says, I avoid social situations because happy people depress me. So there's like, it's everything in between, right? So really interesting stuff, and it's a cool concept. And then across the street from that is like the Cannibal Museum. So you learn about the history of cannibalism, and there's like, that one rugby team whose plane crashed, and, it crashed in the middle of the mountains, and they started eating each other, things like that. So, over time, over history, people have eaten each other, and it wasn't always frowned upon, which is very interesting. So yeah, there's that. And so we did that. And then towards the end of the day, we took a little nap again, and then we hit this Middle Eastern restaurant. And that was probably the best meal we had, right? Because, we love Pita Inn and Al Bawadi and all these fucking Middle Eastern restaurants, and they're just right up our alley. So we, kind of smashed out a lot of food. I didn't think I was going to finish it, but I did. So it was really nice. And then that, that kind of wound down the night, man. We try to get out during the day, walk a lot. We walked through Balboa Park both days, got like 15,000 steps. And just like got to chatting, which was really, really fun. And the next day, right, we get up early. We got to get out by like 9, so that's not too late or too early. So we hop in, right? We just do that. We smoke our last joint that we have, and then we just head to the airport, grab a little breakfast, and get ready to board the flight home. No problems, And then just take some edibles and just like zonk out on the flight. Do that quick 4 hours. And then we're back home, we get the Uber right away, just head back and go for a walk, and just wind down, reflect, talk, chat. And, it was great. But one thing that's really interesting about San Diego now is like the homeless population is kind of overrun there. Like there was this dinginess to San Diego when we went there. And I was a little bit sad about that, but at the same time, like, what are you gonna do, right? It's I can imagine if I was homeless, I would probably be living in California somewhere, right? But it's like there was a point where we were going to 7-Eleven to grab some water bottles, and some lady, when a homeless person approaches you, sometimes you have like the inkling to brush them off, right? So that's what I was like, oh no, I'm good, But they're like, can you just buy me a cup of noodles? And I was like, damn, bro, we'll buy you a couple noodles here. So just went in, picked up some water bottles, and got a cup of noodles for this person. And I was like, man, that kind of broke my heart a little bit, just because when people want to eat, it kind of makes me sad. They don't have access to food. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, honestly, I wish everyone the best, and hoping that they don't have to deal with that for too much longer. And something is done, but it doesn't look like it, and it smells like piss and shit everywhere out there. So, it is what it is, man. You just gotta, it's one of those things of life, it honestly makes me appreciate my life a little bit more. So, that I don't mean that to sound mean or derogatory. It's just, it just kind of is what it is. But, yeah, so that was about it. San Diego's dope. Had a great time there. A lot of good food, young people. California vibe is real. but it is expensive out there as well. So something to be mindful of. But yeah, that about wraps up my trip. I just keep doing this just to reflect and have a good time, euphoric memories. Took a lot of pictures out there, trying to make a little short film out of it, and just enjoy life. Just keep it lighthearted and go out there and meet new people, make experiences, and reflect on all of it with my best friends. So I'll drop you all right there. Hopefully you all are having a good day. Feel free to leave me any feedback, and remember, only positivity. Thanks, guys.